Welcome all, Kev the Movie Dealer here, and today I thought I would make a video about Spider-Man. Now, with the upcoming release of Spider-Man Brand New Day and Spider-Noir streaming now on Prime, which I still need to watch, I felt it was time to make a video about the wall crawler and why I think we haven't gotten a perfect adaptation of the character and his world on the big screen. Now, I'm specifically talking about live-action Peter Parker, and maybe how I would tackle Spider-Man on the big screen. But first, let's dive into the three Spider-Men and my problems with each of them. So obviously, we'll start with Tobey. You know, like most of you, I grew up with this version of Spider-Man. His suit and the film's music will forever be embedded with the brand of Spider-Man until the end of time. And yeah, his first two films still hold up. They're great films. And Tobey's Spider-Man is in a similar boat to Michael Keaton's Batman and Christopher Reeves' Superman, where they hold such a sense of nostalgia and the films themselves still hold up. But to be honest, Tobey is not Mr. Personality. He lacks the charm and charisma that Peter Parker is known for. This version of Peter can come off very dry and socially awkward, and that's because of Maguire. Whenever I read a Spider-Man comic or watch a Spider-Man cartoon, I'm never thinking of Tobey as the voice in my head. I never think, oh, I can see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man doing this when I'm reading the comic. So for me, these movies have aged well, but not so much his take on the character. Then there is Andrew's Spider-Man, whom I feel the most sorry for since his Spider-Man franchise was a failure. And none of it's his fault. Even if you're a fan of the amazing Spider-Man movies, you can't deny they failed. The low box office and the poor reception of the sequel, and then they rebooted the character 2 years later, it doesn't have the best legacy. I really have no notes for Andrew's performance other than the direction of Peter as a character in his first movie. Peter comes across more as a punk rock skater kid who is also a photographer and who has zero friends. That always bothered me. Why does this character have no friends? He acts like he's new to the school and no one knows who he is, but he grew up in this area and yet zero friends. It's so bizarre to me. It's a very strange direction for Peter as a character. And I feel in the sequel, they were close of adapting the world and tone of Spider-Man, but the villains were just written so terribly, it destroyed the whole movie and the franchise. It just shows how important character writing is. And of course, then there's Tom. So I've talked about this interpretation of Spider-Man before, so I won't go too much into it. Overall, I think Tom is a good Spider-Man. And Homecoming is actually my favorite live-action Spider-Man movie. And I do enjoy his sequels, but I do have issues. I don't like how he always has a big MCU character that's his babysitter. Uncle Ben is pretty much a non-existent character. And there is not much Spider-Man world building going on in the sequels. They come across more as Spider-Man is in the MCU than John Watts and Kevin Feige creating the world of Spider-Man in the MCU. It's like as if James Gunn didn't care to develop the world of Gotham in his DC universe. It's just Batman is in the universe, that's it. And that's my real gripe with all three of these Spider-Man adaptations. Not enough world building going on here. I mean, I'll give credit to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming. They were attempting to create the world of Spider-Man. But the rest of the movies, not so much. It feels like either Spider-Man is in regular New York with a new villain in town, or Spider-Man is in the MCU and their version of New York. When you read a Spider-Man comic, watch one of his animated shows, or play one of his video games, you feel like you're in the world of Spider-Man. Not just normal New York with Spider-Man swinging around. Through Spider-Man and his rogues gallery of characters, not just his villains, but the people in Peter Parker's life, they all help design this world. gives New York a type of redesign in the eyes of Spider-Man. That feels like it's never been the case with these Spider-Man movies. They feel more like, how do we design Spider-Man for this New York, instead of how do we design New York for the world of Spider-Man. I do have hope for Brand New Day. It definitely shows that world building I've been craving, but we'll see. So, instead of complaining about it, I thought it'd be fun to create a type of Spider-Man movie that I've been looking for as a fan. Or rather, if I was making a brand new Spider-Man franchise with new characters and actors, what would I do as a longtime Spider-Man fan? So first, I'd probably figure out what I would want to take influence from. And I've been thinking about this for a bit. So first, I'd probably take the 90s animated series, which I still think is the best adaptation of this character. Plus Marvel's new show, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, Spider-Man Homecoming, his brand new video games, and Jeff Loeb's comic, Spider-Man Blue. I feel like that is where I would start. Now let's talk about my version of Peter. I don't think we ever need to see him being bit by a spider again and see Uncle Ben being killed. I think we're all set. So let's think of his age. I think Peter, between the age of 18 and 26, is prime Spider-Man. So let's start with 18 and say he's been Spider-Man for about 3 years. And within those 3 years, he's obviously made quite the name for himself and is known all around New York. But Peter is going into the new chapter in his life. College. Yes, this is a college setting film. Homecoming was about Peter in high school. This one is about him in New York. And again, two different actors playing him. So maybe Peter goes to NYU or Columbia because of course he needs to stay in New York. And I kind of prefer a young adult Peter than a teenage Peter. And I feel like college would not only be a fresh start for Peter, but the audience. Another reason for the college setting is to bring in some of Spider-Man's classic friends with some new interpretations as his new classmates, like Harry Osborn, Flash Thompson, Felicia Hardy, and Mary Jane Watson. And they could be Peter's new friend group in school. Now they're all very different from what we've seen in previous interpretations, and they all have different special relationships with Peter as individuals. I probably wouldn't have Gwen Stacy be part of this group because I think Gwen in this version of Spider-Man was Peter's high school sweetheart. And she's still in Peter's life and they still have feelings for each other, but they decided to move on with their lives, which creates that friction between Peter, Gwen, and MJ. Then with Peter as a student, I want him to be a true prodigy in science, in a way that his teachers don't take too long to see his potential, such as Dr. Connors, Dr. Otto Octavius, and no, they will not be the villains of this film. But it's good to have them there. We see Peter struggling to juggle school life, personal life, and Spider-Man. Now we've seen this before, but this will focus on the perspective of an overwhelmed college student. Now, in this world, Spider-Man already has a few of his rogues gallery already established, like Rhino, Shocker, Electro, the B-listers that don't give Spider-Man too hard of a time. The A-listers like Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Venom, they can wait. But for this movie, if I got to pick my villain, I would choose the Hobgoblin. Now, I know we've tackled the goblins in all three adaptations, and there are similarities between Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin. They're both psychopaths, they both want to kill Spider-Man, but the Hobgoblin is a very unique character. His main motivation is money and power. And in the comics and other shows, they always do this fun thing where we, the audience, do not know who he is. They always tease his identity, but we never truly find out who he is. And that's something that could be really fun in a film. Now, to take influence from the animated series, perhaps Norman Osborn helps create him. Perhaps Norman needs someone killed and he hires the Goblin and suits him up, gives him all of his gear. But of course, during the job, Spider-Man intervenes. And perhaps during their confrontation, Peter sees who the Goblin is. But us, the audience, we do not. So the Goblin is out not only to kill the person that he was hired to kill, but he wants to kill Spider-Man because he saw his face. So throughout the film, both Spider-Man and the Hobgoblin are investigating each other at the same time. So that's kind of my overall pitch of a Spider-Man movie if I got to make one. It's a freshman year college themed movie that has a sprinkle of detective noir, and it's in an already established Spider-Man world, but is constantly world building, constantly evolving the world of Spider-Man. That is the kind of stuff I would want to see as a fan. More world building. So that's my video on Spider-Man, guys. Comment below, tell me what you guys think. Hit that like and subscribe button. Is Spider-Man your favorite character? He's not mine, but he's definitely in my top 3. Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, this was fun making this video. I'll check you guys later. Ciao.